Okay, so I finally got done. Hold on a second. There we go. So I finally got done reading this gargantuan, mammoth, fucking graphic novel. Okay, and the graphic novel that I'm about to sell you on today is called Rusty. Okay, let me see if I can get a. You see that there? And yes, so Rusty. This. Oh my God. Okay, so first off, this is the first thing that I've ever read from Chris Ware. I'm a lover of graphic novels. It's been a while since I read a graphic novel, and just to make sure that we're starting all nice and proper here. By the way, this is all gonna be completely in one take. we're doing a oneer here. I'm very excited because I literally just finished this graphic novel just a few moments ago, and genuinely, this is like the best thing I've read for the last decade. It is, oh my goodness, it is unbelievable. First off, I want to give a shout out to a YouTube channel. So, okay. This is gonna be all over the place a bit because I have to go to work soon as well. So, but I'm usually kind of all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Usually. Okay, so this is how it went down. Okay, you ready for this? Hold on a second. Okay. All right. So yesterday I was watching The Double. Okay. And I hadn't seen it in a while. It's a 10 out of 10, fantastic film. So I was watching this film the other day, and then I was basically I was looking at this like forum that Richard had posted in, and I had read that building stories. I have read that building stories from Chris Ware was Richard's favorite graphic novel, right? And that made me pause. I was like, ooh. I never heard of Chris Ware. I was like, what the hell is building stories? You know what I mean? So then I came across this. Hold on a second. So this is Chris describing.
14 separate books in a box.
This is Chris describing, the cartoonist describing building stories.
Tell me about building stories. Building Stories is a book I started in 2001 and finished in 2011. It's 14 separate books in a box. So the idea was to have a story with no beginning or no end. You wouldn't know where to start or stop it. And that hopefully reflected something of the way that we remember reality rather than the way we think we go through it, which is straight, which we don't. We can go through it and put it back together in all sorts of different ways. So it's also the way we meet people. We learn about them in a piecemeal way. You don't meet somebody and hear their biography from birth to that moment. You figure things out about them and put them together in sort of a mosaic.
So that description, which it's just gorgeous, like literally building story. Actually, I'm gonna show you a bit of what, in case on the off chance you don't know. But building stories looks insane. Okay, I went to the bookstore to see if I could get it. I wasn't able to, unfortunately. But building story, I think I actually downloaded a pretty cool picture. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it in time. This is basically, so building story is a graphic novel that comes in a big box, right? And inside is the 14 documents. So that's what building story looks like when you take it out of the box. Which what for a graphic novel? For a graphic novel, there's no like correct way to read it. There's no start or end. You can just like start reading however you want to. That just fascinates me. Projects like that It's the type of shit that I'm interested in, type of shit that I want to create. So I went to the bookstore to try to find building stories, but it wasn't there. But they did have this. And so I started reading this yesterday on the 15th. I just got done with it. And this graphic novel is a 10 out of 10. I'm going to walk you through some moments here. Let me see here. First off, let me just say that this graphic novel that I'm about to break down for you with no spoilers is literally better than any TV show. It's better than any movie that's been released so far this year. Again, it's... I mean, I'm sure there's a list of other stuff that I need to check out, but seriously, for me, I'm already being like, listen, this has got to be the best book of the last decade. This is like, there's sci-fi, there's melodrama, like, this is sort of like, it's like Charlie Kaufman, it's like Synecdoche, New York. It's really sad, almost like devastatingly sad at times. And then sometimes it is absolutely hilarious in a very dark way. And then, it like, from a vibes kind of feel, like from the feel of it, it definitely reminds me of like Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, or Jason, the Norwegian, like the silences, the awkwardness, the quirkiness of Jason, the Norwegian cartoonist, who's currently my favorite cartoonist. I had to burp, but yeah. Oh yeah, and that reminds me. What else? I'm gonna have to think of some more descriptions. But yeah, there's so many ways to describe this mind-bending shit. Okay, because essentially, Rusty Brown. So when you get it right, hold on a second. I love how I'm just freaking out. Okay, real quick, before I get more into Rusty Brown, I'm so glad that I had a chance to talk about this. I want to talk about this YouTuber who, because I started YouTubing, building stories, started YouTubing that, and then I came across this channel, For the Love of Comics, okay? And they left a comment. I don't have time to look for it, but yeah, this guy right here. So For the Love of Comics, they did a review of like all Chris Ware stuff, and then in their logo, I saw a picture from the work of Jason, the Norwegian cartoonist, and I was like, oh shit, this is a channel where I need to be at. You know what I'm saying? So then, I watched. So yeah, definitely shout out to that YouTuber, because I watched their review of this and ran out and bought it. And let me tell you something, even just like looking at this, like you begin to notice like there's these strange games that are connected to in-world shit, so there's like cross-world puzzles like just on the cover, like all these strange games right here are connected to the world within the book here. Oh yeah, by the way, if you hear some strange or crazy noises, we're doing this in one, okay? Fucking mistakes might happen, but let me see here. I'm really curious about reading Jimmy Corrigan and obviously building stories. Look at this. Even J.J. Abrams is giving praise. Good Lord. What is going on? By the way, the images on the cover here, after you've read it, they really, really take on a different meaning. Holy shit. This pulls out into like a crazy poster that's really psychedelic. Rusty Brown, as you can see here, who's a little kid. Rusty Brown, you know, it might seem like it. Rusty Brown is not the main character. There's several main characters, and so check this out. Hold on a second. I'm gonna take off the cover here. I'm gonna have to go to sleep as soon as this is over. So we had to do it in one. But by the way, Chris, if you're watching this, before I fully sell people on this, like, this is such a unbelievably ambitious, audacious piece of work. Like, again, this is sort of like Synecdoche, New York to me. It kind of reminds me of, or maybe like Blankets, you know, that graphic novel. That's sort of like, we're getting super deep into the subject matter. And I'm telling you, experiencing this graphic novel is like watching like a great, you know, Christopher Nolan movie, like Memento, you know. I think like Memento or like Ellen Page's The Tracy Fragments particularly are really good examples of how to describe this. This insanely ambitious, this insanely like Derek C. France dark comic. Like, this is a very, very, very dark comic. It seems like all of his work, it's very dark. It's very like Blue Velvet, you know. Sorry, not Blue Velvet. Sorry, Blue Valentine. Apologies. It's very, you know, it's very like Blue Valentine with Ryan Gosling. Or Place Beyond the Pines would be great, which is a story that spans many generations, which this story does. As you can probably tell, there's a lot going on with this motherfucker. Okay, and before I describe any further, let's just go in through here for a second. So as you can see, Rusty is a little kid, right? So check this out. So we start here, right? Rusty Brown, Metropolis, right? And you begin to notice, right? Start to notice Rusty Brown seems to be a little kid. And this is, you know, like his neighborhood. This is his like handwriting, my boy Rusty. This is his room, you know, he's got like action figures, you know. This is his video crime monitor, which is just a TV, you know. He's just a silly kid, you know. This is his room or his command center, right? And then, so we're getting to see more of his world, you know. This is sort of like his neighborhood or his school, you know. So this is the school where he's at. Very detailed, you know, but that's what got me. These two kids being a bully, just beating the fuck out of him, right? Page two, you know. In 2 pages, he got me, you know, because the world building already is just like, whoa, like it's just incredibly detailed, you know. And he has such a cinematic eye, like a Scorsese or like a Kubrick god like eye when it comes to these frames. And I remember like looking at all this and being like, whoa, this is really interesting. And then looking here and just being like, whoa, that's fucking dark, because this kid's only like, you know, like 8 or 12 years old. And then we get to this page with these snowflakes, you know, winter, and then we get some really profound like poetry, like prose here, and then out of nowhere it's like kind of like static on TV, right? And then bam, Rusty Brown, the title card. Like, I love that. This feels like a TV just came on or something with the static. It almost feels very Tarantino-ish, you know? I could feel like a great Tarantino-esque kind of track playing right here. And so these are the main characters in the entire story. These are the main characters, okay? So we got W.K. Brown. It's like a teacher. It's like a creative writer. We have Alison White. We have Jason Lint, who... Oh my God, we'll get back to that in a second. We got Chalky. So we have a character that looks exactly like the real life author, Chris. So yeah, this character looks like the real life guy, even though his behaviors are nothing like the real life guy, because this character in the world, this character's actions are really pretty disgusting and dark and fucked up. But they're not reflective of the real life man. It's fucking trippy. It's fucking trippy. Jesus Christ. All right. Oh my God. So yeah, basically, and you know, we have our title character, fucking bitch ass Rusty, right? Guys, this entire thing is about those characters I just told you. And these characters, they start separate, and then their lives and their timelines begin to like slowly connect and converge over time. And over years, like over decades, like their lives start to like not together and become, you know. And let me tell you something, the way, like kind of like when you're watching like Pulp Fiction or something like that, the way that their lives begin separate and then begin to like do that, it's like some of the most dark, beautiful, like heart-achingly beautiful, just devastatingly powerful shit that I've like witnessed in a while. Like I literally just feel like I just got done watching this like unbelievable Christopher Nolan film in IMAX. But there's like this Charlie Kaufman-esque eye, you know, there's not like action scenes, there's not like blood and gore, but you know, Chris Ware has found a way to make the mundane, he's found a way to find the extraordinary in the mundane, you know? I mean, this book is really just about you as the reader is like a fly on the wall, you know, observing these people's lives, you know, and these people, you know, they're, you know, some are good, some are bad, you know, their lives overall are pretty sad and really fucked up. A lot of this takes place in like an alternate reality version of 1970s Nebraska. And there appears to be like advanced technologies in this 70s era of Nebraska, which is interesting. And guys, it just I just can't. I don't want to spoil it, but you have to read this. It's a 10 out of 10. It's probably an 11 out of 10, okay? Fucking Chris Ware is talking about this is, you know, volume 1, right? He's saying that this is volume 1, okay? Apparently this took 18 years to be completed, all right? And it's only supposed to be volume 1, and he's saying it could take another, you know, 18, 20 years for the next installment, which would be the last installment. What? That is fucking insane, okay? I mean, passion projects are always fascinating, but this is like a passion project unlike anything I've ever seen before in terms of like a book or a comic. Like the closest comparison I can find is maybe like House of Leaves, but this feels like even more complex and ambitious somehow. I still need to finish House of Leaves. What the fuck? Because I've been trying to get back into reading because I've been slacking on that badly, and that's why I like sped through this. Because when I saw For the Love of Comics when I saw the reviews, I was like, oh man, I gotta see. As a matter of fact, when I was watching For the Love of Comics, when I was watching his review of Rusty Brown, actually, I could only watch like the first I think 3-4 minutes, or I could only watch like the first little bit, and I had to get out of there because I was like, I'm sold. Okay, you're giving me too many too many details. You know, I'm trying not to give you too many. And the video was fantastic, no issues. But yeah, I was sold quickly. And I'm doing my best not to spoil this because this book completely blew my mind. I mean, for God's sakes, it's almost like if Ari Aster made a cartoonist style comic book, you know? Like even though the art looks at first like disarmingly simple, but then when you realize like the cinematic framing and shots, you know, each scene feels like it's shot as it just feels like it was drawn the same way you would shoot a movie, you know. Everything about the scene transitions, the way the scenes or these shots are composed, they're all very movie-like. They're very cinematic. Chris Ware has such a meticulous God's eye view of these people's lives, you know. It's almost as if he just wanted to show you the complete totality of these people's lives. Like there is a character by the name of Jason. And I remember just being like, okay, they showed him for a little bit, but like, why is he considered to be one of the main characters? Okay, there is a section in this book about this character named Jason Lint. And they literally, we get to bear witness. We get to see the entire lifespan of Jason Lint, okay? From the moment that he was nothing to the moment that he was born to the moment that he died. We literally watch the entire life of Jason Lint. There's this one black woman, Joanna, which her story hit me in the feels. Jesus, the ending to her story was so adorable. Good Lord, the feels. Oh my goodness, the feels. But yeah, like her story, you know, we get a sense of like most of her entire life. Okay, I know it sounds like I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. And like a lot of times, like these characters' lives, they'll be happening like simultaneously before your eyes. Like, so like this is like a main story involving Rusty Brown, right? But down here is a completely independent narrative and story running alongside Rusty's story up here, you know? And the way that you can choose to read and follow along with Rusty's story and this character's story, it's just like, yo, it's blowing my mind. I can't even imagine when I read building stories, I'm gonna piss myself. Oh yeah, and then that's another thing. You know, we're seeing the totality of these people's lives. You know, we're seeing all these mundane scenes that are bizarrely, impossibly, are just immensely entertaining, right? And then not only that, like, oh my God, like Rusty Brown, he's like this little kid. He never stands up for himself. He's just like a little bitch. Like he never stands up for himself. He never tries to defend himself. His scenes are just, and then Joanna, like seeing her deal with like racism in the 70s and witnessing her quiet life, you know, she's just like this good woman. Oh my goodness. And then there's a whole section there's a sci-fi, there's a science fiction section, right? And there's this whole section involving this character on the planet of Mars, this futuristic story, right? Which I am not going to spoil in any way, shape, or form, because that Martian sci-fi story is so deep, it's so dark. It almost feels like a weird Black Mirror episode in the middle of all this. It's so creepy. There were scenes that involved violence or death in that sci-fi story that, oh my God, the way that we just like out of nowhere transitioned to that sci-fi story. Oh my God, like oh my God, it's so dope. The reveal of so the sci-fi story, the main character there, the reveal of that character's spaceship for the first time. I mean, it's like some Christopher Nolan type of shit. Like if Christopher Nolan made a comic, it would definitely be something like this. I mean, there are pages where, like, you know, a character's mind state is like going crazy, and the page like represents that, you know, like if they're like losing their mind or something like that. I mean, it is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Okay, Chris Ware is telling the story better than whole movies I have watched recently. Like this book is more of a movie than most of the movies I've been watching recently. I mean, the way that he lets you, I mean, he will guide you, but sometimes like the way that he'll let you figure out how to follow along, you know, because he's adding so much to every page, you know. It's like he was just so dedicated to making sure that he was telling these characters' stories as thoroughly as plausible. There are some pages where, like, just on one page, they will detail a jaw-dropping amount of character detail. Like, I'm trying to find an example. Give me a second here. I cannot believe this book. It is absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Okay, yeah, stuff like this, okay? Look at this. This one page, I'm not going to zoom in because I don't want to spoil anything. But this one page is all about one character's life. In this one page, all these cells, these are all different scenes, like movie scenes, okay? And like, oh my God, like the amount of information that this one page is giving about this one character's life is extraordinary. It is extraordinary. Like you get so much information about these characters that they almost feel like real people. They are so convincing as not characters but people because of the just freakish amount of the amount of layers that these characters have. Like I mean, the fact that we see the whole lifespan of Jason Lint, even though the first time we meet Jason Lint early on in the story, he's like this really fucked up, repulsive ass character that's like you never want to see again. You hate him, and then when you see his entire life flash before your eyes, you're just like, you almost have a completely different interpretation of this man. And it there's even like another little short story, like a sci-fi short story in here that's like a whole story unto itself, and even that blew my mind. What I'm trying to tell you, because I gotta go sleep here. What I'm trying to tell you is that I'm so grateful to have this in my collection. I cannot wait. I think this is what got me back into reading again because I love to read, but it's been ages. I'm gonna read like everything by Chris Ware. This is a 10 out of 10, obviously. It's a 10 out of 10, probably 11 out of 10 one day. I mean, it's just unbelievable, honestly. The way that he allows your eyes just to kind of freely roam and dissect these mammoth-sized lives that are trapped in mundaneness is just speechless. I'm blown the fuck away. It's funny, Jason, the Norwegian cartoonist, I can't pronounce his last name. Not yet, Jason, help me out with that. But, Jason's been my favorite cartoonist for a long time. I can't wait to cover his work, too. I'd like to cover his work. But, I just can't imagine what part 2 is going to be like. Part 2 might make me be like, I have a new favorite cartoonist. I might like rebuilding stories and might be like, I have a new favorite cartoonist. Because honestly, this is like some Christopher Nolan level shit. Like this is bending my mind. Like the melodrama here is like equal to some of the fucked up shit, the family drama that you would see in like Hereditary. Like this blew me out. I know this is long, but you have to check this out. I believe this was only $35, at least in the U.S. This is unbelievable. Like, even though it's simplistically drawn, the amount of thought and attention to details, the extent that he went to make this cinematic, the fact that, like, on one page, there could literally be hundreds of different scenes conveying so much about a character, in terms of like a biography type of sense. Unbelievable. I cannot wait to get building stories. I can't wait to do some more graphic novel reviews. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Holy shit. I think... Well, I thought the sci-fi chapter was going to be my favorite chapter for obvious reasons, because it's like Charlie Kaufman directed The Martian, basically, is what it feels like. But honestly, I think the Jason Lint chapter is the best thing in this book, because it is so deep. So much deeper than what you're thinking. It is so philosophically deep. It is so mind-bending the way that Chris Ware is forcing you to perceive information. And just in general, the way that Chris is forcing you to take in the information of his worlds. So yeah, I think I probably gotta get the fuck out of here. But cause I gotta get some sleep, gotta go to work. But I'm glad I was able to fucking talk about this, because I've literally just been reading this for hours. Like my this part of my hand is completely fucked up from holding this big ass book for hours. Okay, my wrists are fucking all fucked holding this thing. Good lord. It was a feat tearing through this, but oh my god, it's so psychedelic. It's so trippy in the way that it's executed. Like, it's almost like, it's definitely like if you've ever seen like Upstream Color from Shane Carruth, it's definitely got that kind of feel to it, where Chris Ware, he really wants the story to sort of like wash over you, and he kind of wants you to kind of just like, if this story were like water in a bathtub, he sort of just he really wants you to sort of just get in and sort of like soak it all in and think meticulously about it later. There's just so much that, I mean, just look at this. This is just unbelievable. This is unbelievable. This is just a character doing like a Google search, and they're reading a whole article right here. Like, guys, the amount of information in here, it's just ingenious. It's just ingenious. The way that the scenes in here genuinely feel like movie scenes are extraordinary. The way that the past and the present and the future interweave, bleed in and out of each other. The way that these different main characters' lives do the same with each other. Guys, this is a must-read. Highly recommend it. I may go into a spoiler-filled review in the future, and can't wait to do more stuff by Chris. I think that's all I got at the current time. Well, I think that's all the time I got for this at the current time. But yeah, and once again, I gotta do a shout out to the homie who I just discovered. For the love of comics. So, I watched all their Jason comics videos and pretty much all the Chris Ware stuff. And that's the only stuff I've watched so far. But I just wanted to show you something that I thought you guys would think is pretty cool. I don't know if I can find it now, which is funny. Oh my god, is it not going to show it now? Let me see. Well, what I'm trying to show you is that for the love of comics, he commented. Oh, here we go. Yeah. It got buried, but yeah. So this is him responding to me. So my response to him is this video. Trippy, I know, but anyways, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I gotta get some sleep. Gotta go to work tomorrow, but oh, Jesus. What? Let's try that again, shall we? All right. And bam! Like I said, we're doing this in one. Sometimes it's not always perfect. But anyways, let me know your thoughts down below. I'm out.